Scott, after shalom, there are some words that really go together, but that talk about how the good place shows up on the ground in the community, and it's community, organization, and individual. Could you give us the definitions you're using for these terms and how they work together?
Right. Well, it's kind of a taxonomy. Taxonomy is one of my favorite words, concepts and practices. How do you put things in categories? If somebody gave you a box full of random objects and told you to put them in categories, how would you choose what categories to put them in? You could separate them by color, material, shape. So in thinking about how to build up good places, it seemed to make sense to me to use a taxonomy of 3 areas that we need to pay attention to in order to build up good places, right? Community, individual, and organization. So a lot of times we might think to say individual, community, organization, because communities are made up of individuals, and so you want to start with the components. But I start with community largely because in the US, we are so individualistically minded. Of course, we think of individual first. So I put community first just to get our attention that we're not very effective as individuals in building up good places in community. So addressing how to build up good places in community, one of the key features is collaboration. Nobody can solve everything on their own. Everybody combined can be very effective at addressing opportunities or problems in the community. So in the section on community, we talk about how we cooperate with each other in communities to achieve objectives that we all share in common. And then individual, communities are made up of individuals. How do we show up as individuals to the community? We have, as humans, we have a tendency to be selfish and destructive. And if we show up and allow our selfish and destructive side or tendencies to guide our actions, then we can't build up good places. So the section on individual really is about how do we build up a heart of love so that when we show up, we can be effective working with other people. Then the last category is organizations, which might seem odd. They're in between the individual and community, in scale. But a lot of people, most people, have a job and work. And most people, when they work together with others. There aren't many people who are subsistence farmers, who their work is all just by themselves, for themselves. And how do we work in organizations so that the work of the organization has an impact to build up good places? And we talk about the people who have the position or right in the organization to define the aims of the organization and the methods by which the organization achieves those aims. Those people have a tremendous amount of responsibility because they could act out of selfish tendencies, and the purpose of the organization is just to enrich the people who have the power in the organization, or maybe even every member of the organization, at the expense of everybody else. There is a economic theory that if everybody does whatever they can to make a profit, all needs in the community will be met. And I think we have enough history to demonstrate that that is not the case.
So Scott, just to clarify a little bit more between community and organization, all organizations are in essence a type of community, but there can be community that is not an organization per se. So organization is sort of something that's sort of official. It's recognized as a group of people working together to provide a service or a product. It's a business with a name, or a group of people with a name and has a a leader or a director or something like that. So that's something.
Yeah, it would be a legally incorporated organization, whether for-profit or not-for-profit. It's a bounded set. You're either a member of that organization or you're not. And there's an authority structure within that guides that. So our proposition is that an organization, in order to build up a good place, should have these three aims: to provide people with the opportunity and encouragement to develop their full potential, to build up good places in the communities where they work, and to achieve both of those ends through economically viable means, so that the work that they do builds up individuals and builds up communities.
Thank you.